In the heart of Moscow, 1953, the air is thick with fear and Mozart. At a concert hall, a chamber orchestra performs a piano concerto to a rapt audience. But in the director's office, the real performance is one of pure terror. The program director, Andreev, receives a phone call. The voice on the other end is unmistakable, Joseph Stalin. He enjoyed the concert so much, he wants a recording. The problem? It wasn't recorded. Please have the run of the work. Andreev, in a desperate frenzy, locks the doors, bribes the pianist Maria Yudina, who despises the regime, and literally pulls people off the streets to fill the seats and replicate the acoustics. He forces the exhausted orchestra to play the entire concert over again, a farcical scramble for survival under the shadow of a tyrant's whim. Meanwhile, at his dacha, the frail, aging Stalin is enjoying a late night with his inner circle, the presidium of the Central Committee. There's the bumbling, sycophantic Nikita Khrushchev, the cruel and calculating head of security Lavrentiy Beria, the indecisive Georgy Malenkov, and the stoic Vyacheslav Molotov. They trade crass jokes, perform humiliating acts of loyalty, and watch a John Wayne Western, all while Beria casually hands Stalin lists of names for execution. The atmosphere is a bizarre mix of a frat house and a death row, where one wrong word can get you killed. As the men depart, Beria chillingly implies to Malenkov that Molotov is next on the list. Back in his office, Stalin receives the hastily made recording. Tucked into the sleeve is a note from the pianist, Maria. He reads it, a defiant message calling him a tyrant and a murderer. Stalin laughs, then begins to choke. He collapses to the floor, convulsing, a pool of urine spreading across the rug. The great leader has suffered a massive cerebral hemorrhage. But the two guards outside his door, hearing the thud, decide it's safer to do nothing. "Should you shut the fuck up before you get us both killed?" the sergeant hisses. For hours, the ruler of the Soviet Union lies dying on the floor. It isn't until the next morning that a housekeeper discovers the body. The news sends a shockwave through the presidium. Beria is the first to arrive, and his move is immediate and decisive. While the others are still processing the shock, he seizes control. He orders his NKVD men not to call a doctor and to let no one else in. He ransacks Stalin's office, locating a safe full of compromising documents and secret files. He pockets a note, Maria's note, and begins burning evidence, literally passing folders out a jammed window to his subordinate. Malenkov arrives next, horrified and useless, immediately kneeling in the puddle of urine and recoiling in disgust. He is nominally Stalin's successor, but it's clear Beria is pulling the strings. Khrushchev bursts in moments later, wailing with performative grief, unaware he's missed the initial power grab. A macabre comedy unfolds as the committee members, including the newly arrived Boganin, Kaganovich, and Mikoyan, awkwardly debate how to move Stalin's piss-soaked body to his bedroom. They haggle over who takes which end, their bickering a stark contrast to the gravity of the situation. They finally manage to hoist him onto his bed, upside down at first, before leaving Beria alone with the body. He stares down at the dying dictator and whispers, "You have a nice long sleep, old man. I'll take it from here." The power vacuum is officially open, and Beria has a commanding lead. Khrushchev, however, is not as foolish as he appears. He recognizes the immediate threat Beria poses. While the committee argues about the logistics of finding a doctor, since all the best ones have been arrested or executed on Stalin's orders, Beria is already reshaping the state in his image. He takes control of Moscow's security, replacing the army with his own NKVD troops. He locks down Stalin's office in the Kremlin, and in a masterstroke of populism, he halts the arrests and deportations, positioning himself as a liberal reformer. Khrushchev watches this with growing alarm. His first move is to bring in Stalin's children. His daughter, Svetlana, arrives, distraught and confused. Beria immediately tries to co-opt her grief, presenting himself as her protector. His son, Vasily, a drunken, unstable Air Force general, is dragged from an ice hockey rink and proves to be a chaotic liability. The doctors, a terrified group of has-beens and second-raters, are finally rounded up. They nervously deliver their diagnosis: Stalin is paralyzed and will not recover. Beria declares it's over and immediately begins dispatching orders to consolidate his power. Khrushchev sees his window closing. He knows he needs allies, and fast. His most crucial target is Molotov, a man whose loyalty to Stalin is so absolute that he remains faithful even after Stalin had his wife, Polina, arrested. Khrushchev finds Molotov at his apartment, grieving, and tries to convince him that Beria is the real enemy. But Beria is one step ahead. In a stunning display of power, he arrives at Molotov's apartment and presents him with a gift, a frail but very much alive Polina, whom Beria has just released from the Lubyanka prison. Molotov breaks down, his loyalty instantly transferred. Beria has won the round, leaving Khrushchev looking like a fool. The battle lines are drawn. Beria, with his control of the secret police, his intelligence, and his ruthless maneuvering, seems unstoppable. Khrushchev has only his wits and a growing sense of desperation. As plans for the state funeral begin, Beria cleverly sidelines Khrushchev by putting him in charge of the arrangements, a seemingly trivial task designed to keep him busy with flowers and curtains. But Khrushchev uses it to his advantage. At the Hall of Columns, where Stalin lies in state, the two men clash. The arrival of Field Marshal Zhukov, the celebrated war hero and head of the Soviet army, changes the dynamic. Zhukov, bombastic and utterly fearless, despises Beria and his secret police, whom he calls pansy torturers. He openly questions why his army has been confined to barracks while the NKVD control Moscow. Khrushchev sees his opening. This is the ally he needs, someone with an army. The situation in Moscow grows volatile. Beria had cancelled all inbound trains to control the crowds, but Khrushchev, in a move to create chaos that he can blame on Beria, orders them to resume. The city is flooded with mourners. When the massive crowds become unmanageable, Beria's NKVD troops panic and open fire, killing 1,500 people. This is the moment Khrushchev has been waiting for. At a reception for foreign dignitaries, he corners Zhukov, outlining Beria's coup and securing the army's support. He then leverages the massacre, turning the rest of the committee against Beria, who has now overplayed his hand. Malenkov, terrified after Khrushchev shows him evidence that Beria has dirt on everyone, finally agrees to the plan. The stage is set for the final move. The day of the funeral, the committee gathers for a meeting. Khrushchev, with Malenkov's trembling support, proposes a new agenda item: the conduct of Comrade Beria. He accuses Beria of treason and attempting to seize power. Beria laughs it off, but his confidence falters when he sees Malenkov frozen, refusing to intervene. As Khrushchev gives the signal, Malenkov fumbles, unable to press the emergency button under the desk. In a moment of pure, desperate energy, Khrushchev himself leaps across the room, shoves Malenkov aside, and slams the button. On cue, Zhukov and a squad of armed soldiers burst in, hands in the air. Zhukov bellows. Beria is stunned, his attempt to allure his guards outside failing. The army has taken the Kremlin. Beria is arrested, beaten, and dragged to a makeshift courtroom in a basement. A swift, sham trial ensues. Khrushchev reads a list of charges from treason to hundreds of counts of rape and perversion. Beria, broken and terrified, screams for his life, but it's over. Zhukov and his soldiers drag him out and execute him in a hail of gunfire. His body is unceremoniously dumped in the courtyard, doused in petrol and set ablaze. As the corpse burns, Khrushchev consolidates his new position at the center of power. He offers Svetlana a ticket to Vienna and a chilling warning: "I might have to kill you." The old guard is gone. A new era has begun, born from the same chaos, paranoia, and bloodshed as the one before. The ashes of Beria's body are swept away, and Nikita Khrushchev, the man who played the fool, now stands as the undisputed leader of the Soviet Union. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.